mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent ritual extirpation, undesirable odors of another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past watch them and pray?
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, the United States Electoral College, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Asker, and we have the very patriotic Nick.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Guess what, everybody? By the time you hear this, election day will be over. Okay, yes. By one day.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Because as of recording right now, we are one day before the election. So by the time you hear this, we will have a new president. So, well, not until January.
And guess what? Good job, guys. You're the ones that did it. You're the ones that fucking went out there. And look, it doesn't matter who you voted for. You fucked up. So congratulations.
I was doing some more research on and I'm glad we brought it up, the Electoral College. And dude, the system is so fucking bogus. Because basically, people, it's even if they get the popular vote, the Electoral College can't, it doesn't ever happen, but they could technically decide to just vote for somebody else and completely squander everything you did.
Yeah, so good job, guys. I'm glad that you all went out there. You stood in line when COVID was going on. Look, I know that a lot of people are doing mail-in ballots. That's fine. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Mine went right in the fireplace.
Thought you would make it into a paper airplane and chuck it at people trying to vote.
make it into little spit wads. Yeah. No, I should have. But the thing is, you know what? I don't want to see your fucking stickers on social media, the I voted stickers, because guess what? Every time I see you with your sticker, it's going to remind me that, great, either Trump or Biden, so basically a pervert or an older pervert, are going to be our president. So congratulations. Mm-hmm. And look, let's see where it goes.
Yep, but we all know it's going to be Joe Jorgensen who's winning. So congrats, because by the time you're listening to this, you did it. Yeah, independent.
Yay. Yeah, vote third party, guys. That's all we can do. So in 4 years, remember this podcast, and when I say vote for third party, and I will be on that ballot.
What's that meme where it's yeah, baby, that's what we've been waiting for.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
But whoever won, holy shit, this is gonna, no matter who wins, and because by the time you listen to this, you'll know more than us. So as you from the future, if you're a time traveler, do time travel and let us know in the middle of this episode, because that would be some really good content.
Yeah, dude, we could place bets and make a bunch of fucking money on it, dude. Oh my god, that would be great.
Oh hell yeah! Speaking of which, I bought a lottery ticket the other day, and I've realized, and I wonder if we brought this up before, but it's when you buy a lottery ticket, you're not buying it because you're gonna win. You're paying for that hour where you gotta live in this euphoric fantasy of what the fuck you would do with $20 million.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about, man. See, there is no spoon, dude. It's all in your head. It's beautiful.
Yeah, dude, and paying for a shot of serotonin, that sounds worth $2 to me.
Good for you, man. I haven't bought a lottery ticket in a while because I don't think they have them in my state. So
yeah. There's also another word for it. It's the poor person tax.
Yeah, that's because it is. Newsflash, I'm still hungover from Halloween and it's Monday.
Oh, that's right. Halloween did happen. We hope you all had a good time and enjoyed our listener episode last week. But spooky season has unfortunately come to a close.
Yes. And there's nothing more depressing than waking up on November 1st and being well, fuck. You know what I mean? Now I have to wait another 364 days.
Well, I thought you'd be upset because technically it's November 1st is Dia de los Muertos, the Hispanic All Souls Day.
Ah, thank you. Remember, I think I said this last time, man. Keep it one language on the podcast.
Well, man, you didn't feel the need to rewatch Coco?
No, I don't. I never once have seen it, and I refuse to watch it.
It's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good one. I think you should watch it with Kiwi.
First off, fuck Kiwi. Second of all, I'm so glad that everybody everywhere is getting all their diversity. All right.
Didn't you dress Kiwi up as a taco this year? Isn't that sort of backwards?
It was a hot dog.
Ah, right. Okay.
Because he's a dog and he's kind of hot. You know what I mean?
I mean, I saw the way those eyes he was given in the photos.
That's fucking gross. All right. Moving on. Okay. Yes, everybody. We're doing aliens again. Yay. But remember,
Ooh.
you guys fucked up the election. So moving on.
Good way to start this off with some good emotional strength.
Exactly. But you know what? Our life can't get any more daunting as it is right now on the eve of the election day. So, Tasker, why don't we just get more bad news and look at our horoscopes?
That sounds really good. We're back to horoscope, spelled WHOR, like hookers.
Exactly. We'll be back to horoscopes in a year from now. Okay.
Yeah, we look forward to it. But do you want me to go first?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Okay. Uncertainty about spiritual matters and doubt about your insights might have you down in the dumps today. Don't try to force any solutions. It won't work. This isn't a good day to be out and about because travel of any kind could pose problems. This is also a bad day to plan or start a vacation. Stay close to home and take care of practicality, Scorpio. That way you will be calm by evening. Well, thank God I haven't left the house today.
Yeah, good for you, man. Good.
And I think it's funny that we did do a lot of ghost stories last week, and technically that could be spiritual matters. And we're talking about aliens today, so it says it might put me down in the dumps. So I don't know. We'll have to see, huh?
Well, talking about aliens does put you down in the dumps. I know that as a fact.
Oh, it just makes me angry. It's just upsetting and skyrocketing to my blood pressure. But speaking of blood pressure, let's take a look at my mood ratings today. Is as usual, sex, I'm rocking a 3 out of 5. We're just keeping a steady average. Nothing too great, nothing too little, just enough to satisfy. Hustle is going to be 3 out of 5. So, which is, I agree with that. I was getting some work done today. My vibe, however, is a 2 out of 5, man. And
my God.
Yep. And my success is also a 2 out of 5. So today's a little below average.
That's all right, man. Sometimes we have those days. Like you said, you didn't leave the house. It was probably kind of a chill day. You don't have much to be successful about today, except for this podcast.
True.
So, but that's like a coin toss every time anyway. So I'm just worried about your vibe. 2 out of 5?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, my vibe just might be off. Maybe, the spooky season just rattled me a little bit more than I expected.
Well, shit, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
Nah, maybe I'm just possessed, and it's not even like a classic possession. It's just like a ruin your vibe, just make you one notch less chill.
Yeah, you're just like, well, God damn it.
Yep. Because the minute you fear them, because like we did with the stories we were talking about, the minute you start to think about them and you get a little freaked out, that's what invites them. And I did also, I was researching 2 things last night for no reason. One was the story of the real Annabelle doll, which was spooky. And there was actually, I found out that the rumor that it escaped is actually not true. It's just locked away in the old Warren Museum. And 2, I learned about Mr. Anime, a YouTube vlogger who talked about anime, who ended up killing his whole family.
Yay! See, that's what anime will do to you. So you got to stop watching anime. Reading that many subtitles will drive you to murder your family.
Possibly. Though there's a slew of other problems that we won't get into because this isn't true crime. But maybe I've been looking up too much morbid stuff, and maybe that's why my vibe's a little down.
Well, shit. That's okay, man. Welcome to my life. Welcome to it.
Well, let's see if you can be a good counterbalance. What do you got on yours?
Cancer. Check your house to make certain everything is in working order. There are indications that small hazards could exist that need correcting. Tension might run high among family members, and quarrels could result. Don't waste time trying to meditate. I wouldn't waste my fucking time meditating anyway. They will have to work it out for themselves. This is a great day for study and solitude since your mind is especially sharp.
Wow.
I would say, I mean, I don't know if there's any issues in my house. It's a new house for me, right? So I probably should go around and make sure everything's working. Mm-hmm. Make sure that never mind.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that played back in the court hearing.
Okay, I might have to cut that. I was gonna make a really horrible joke.
Yeah, something about a kid in your basement.
Yeah. I caught myself. Oh man. But I would say my mind being especially sharp. Yeah, I could see that today. I had a second cup of coffee today because I knew we would be recording after work, which is not the usual for me.
Right.
So, I'm a little on it. I'm hyped. I've already made a couple jokes. I've already made a couple racist jokes against the Mexicans. Sorry. Just do a better job when you're mowing my lawn,
I don't even. Are there even any Mexican people where you live?
No.
Yeah, that's why you moved, right?
No, I love him. I love him. I love you, don't I?
This is true, and
I love your mother.
and my extended family of 5,000, huh?
Yeah, all 5,000 of them guarding the border because now Americans are trying to get over there because it's so fucking bad here.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, some people prefer the cartel at this point.
Yeah, at least they'll do it quickly. Okay, let's look at my ratings. All right, today's star ratings. Sex is a 2 out of 5. But I'm not that horny anyway, so it's cool.
I mean, it is the start of No Nut November, so that's you're at a good start.
Hey, that's true. All right, cool. My hustle's a 2 out of 5. Not great. Not great at all. My vibe, though. My vibe is 4 out of 5, bro.
Whoa! See, I told you, I knew it. You were going to be the count. This is why our podcast works so well. It's the checks and balances.
We are literally the definition of negatives attractive, and it's beautiful. My success is 2 out of 5, though. So
all right. Well, I would say enough to counterbalance and enough to keep things stable.
I like it. I like having a good vibe. I'm feeling vibey.
Nice. Yeah, and also on that note of the fact that we're recording later than usual today, it's weird because this is one of the few times I actually am recording having not just woken up 10 minutes ago.
How does it feel?
I feel I'm full of energy, man. I feel like I'm sharp. I'm awake. My nose isn't as stuffy like it always is when I wake up in the morning because I live in a literal hotbed soup of fucking allergens. So, yeah, it's cool. I feel awake.
Good, man. I'm glad. See, we're both on a good level right now. So let's give them a good episode, all right? Because we're doing aliens again.
We're back to it. It's been a while. We did kind of dedicate a lot of our effort into more spooky Halloweenish type stuff, but that time is done. So we are back to our namesake topics.
Yes. And so, everybody, welcome back, all right, to another episode of Close Encounters, the show by, again, 2 men children who just think that they know everything about aliens.
Yeah,
all right?
Everything.
So, what we're going to do today is, how do I put this? It's sticky, and it's lubey, and it's semen-filled, and it's an abduction.
And is it flavored?
When I was researching this abduction, the flavor that came to my mind was like, you ever had canned chicken before?
I've seen it, and I don't even want to imagine what it tastes like.
No, picture what the gelatin type stuff tastes like. That's what I pictured this entire abduction story tasting like. So everybody going forward, picture that flavor. All right. It's like a very salty gelatin.
Gross.
It's pretty bad. Wow. So this abduction is of one guy named Antonio Villas Boas.
Mm-hmm. See, you can't escape it, man. Is this Spanish? It's Spanish, right?
No, man, look, I know you don't read the outlines. It takes place in Brazil, all right?
So it could be Spanish.
But it's the same shit. It's the same exact shit, all right? There's no difference between Mexico and Brazil in my mind. I'm
Spanish
sorry.
isn't exclusive to Mexico.
I'm not talking about the language, and I'm just the language. They look... Okay, all right, let's move on.
This is why you moved from California, to get away from this.
All right, so look, without further delay, let's go ahead and grab our root chakras, all right? Because I need root chakras out for this episode.
Grasp them firmly.
Grasp them firmly. Reach down there. Grab your root chakra. Let's dive right in. And also, Tasker, I'm talking specifically to you. I need third eyes open for this shit today because every time we talk about aliens, you need to just be prepared, open that third eye, and every single time we talk about it, it will increasingly be drilled into your mind that it exists, okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, riddle me this. I had a lot of Halloween candy and a lot of McDonald's lately, which is some processed shit. Is that considered to be third eye closing?
Absolutely. I mean, are you taking showers?
Yeah. Not.
Then yeah, you're closing your third eye. Do you know how much fucking fluoride they put in the water?
So what do you do to prevent it? Do you just have a Brita like on your shower head, or what's up with that?
I just don't shower.
Ah, nice. You're just going
Yeah, see.
all natural, huh?
Yeah. Smells like a taco factory in my house.
Yeah, and not the fresh kind. I'll tell you that.
All right. Let's get into this, guys. And first, I want to talk a little bit about the backstory of our boy Antonio. All right. Now, first off, I want to point out that this abduction story is one of the first to get fairly widespread media attention, along with the abduction of Betty and Barney Hill, which definitely got more coverage, and it happened a couple years after.
Is that where the Flintstones came from?
Betty and Barney. Barney and Betty. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. How long ago was this?
This was in 1957.
Okay.
But the thing is about Betty and Barney from the Flintstones is it may have been what year did that come out?
First episode came out in 1960.
Got it. Okay, so yeah. I think Betty and Barney Hill was like 59.
Oh, so hey, they for all we know, that's where the names may have come from.
Exactly. But see, they made Betty and Barney Flintstone white. But Barney was a black man.
Classic America.
They would not have made a cartoon character black in the 60s. God forbid. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, did you know that apparently Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was supposed to be black?
What happened?
Well, his publisher didn't want him to do it. And they were like,
yeah, I'm sure.
They didn't want a black main character because back then, like you said, that was very like uncouth. And I actually heard there's kind of an inside joke in the character design industry where they say if you want a character with dark skin, you have to make it like dark as possible because through like, because it'll take like several passes before the design gets approved. And usually it'll take like, you know, their skin color will lighten like one notch per pass. So in order to have a dark skin character, it needs to be like stupid dark. And then by the time it actually gets approved, it'll be a lot lighter.
That's pretty racist.
That's super racist. Yeah. I think I think it's changing, but I hope so. But yeah, it's wacky out there.
Jesus. Well, Antonio Villa, right? If you have two L's together, it's yeah.
It's like yeah. So like Villa.
Okay, so Antonio Villa Boas was born in 1934 in Brazil, but the abduction takes place specifically in São Francisco das Salas, Brazil.
Cool, nice. I thought you were going to call it Sales Brazil for a second.
That's how it's spelled. I was thinking about it.
Well done, though. Well done.
Thank you. So as we kind of touched on before, unfortunately, I cannot make any jokes about him being Tasker's like long lost granduncle or something because Tasker is Mexican and not Brazilian. But like I stated before, it's basically the same shit.
It's not at all, but sure.
Hey, anything south of the border, buddy, anything south of the border is all Mexican to me. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Antonio grew up in a rural area in Brazil, and he was a simple farmer for the first third of his life or so. And he later went on to be a lawyer, a blood-sucking, demon-horned lawyer.
I haven't seen one who isn't like that, right?
Amen to that, brother.
Hey.
But I digress. At the time of his abduction, he was only 23 years old, right? So he was fresh meat for the aliens, basically.
Mm-hmm.
At 23 years old, he's one of the younger abductees that we have covered and probably will cover.
Okay, because normally people who get abducted, there's no real set age range. It tends to be like late 20s-ish, or is it just kind of all over the place?
It's all over the place, but honestly, they tend to be middle-aged. A lot of the ones that get press coverage. There's a lot of abduction stories on like Yahoo Answers and Reddit and stuff, but those are all, like from younger people, but those are all younger people that are just probably being molested in the night. So
yeah, you're probably not wrong about most of that.
Well, now that we have a fairly clear picture of who Antonio is, let's get into the actual abduction, the juicy bits. And yes, this will be a sensual story. So I want you to grab your loved one, hold them tight, and pull their pants down because it is going to get weird.
So in a weird way, this is a good like kickoff, like No Nut November special that we're going for the most sexually charged alien story you could find, huh?
Yeah. So My bad. All right. So but look, if you start jerking it to this episode, that's on you, and that's weird. All right. So don't.
But it would also kind of be a really big compliment.
It would be a compliment, but I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I wonder about that someday, where it's like, what if I can get good enough at drawing things that maybe I make a commission one day that's like, a bit on the lewd side. And you know what? I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that there might be people that might be jacking off to my artwork.
There, see, it gives you a sense of power. You hold the power. I hold your cum in my hands.
See, and that's why I practice. I want to get there. I want that power. I want to feel like I control your ejaculate.
That's so gay.
Hey, man, but it's validating.
It is validating. And look, I didn't mean to say gay. All right.
Yeah. Wow. Way to go.
Okay. We might have to cut that.
Yeah. We're just on a roll today.
Yeah, it's bad. It's 2 cups of coffee. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, one night, October 16th, 1957. In fact, we just passed the anniversary of this. Antonio was out doing whatever the fuck it is that farmers do in the fields, right? I don't know. Never touched a hoe. Never will.
Okay. Oh, wow. That was awful, but yet enjoyable.
Now, you see, being a smart Brazilian man, about as smart as they come, I guess, he opted to do his farm work during the night to avoid the hellacious heat during the day. And now that's a big brain move.
Important.
But you see, it was not a big brain move, because that's when they get you, at night.
And I imagine like farm fields at night are probably not well lit. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, isn't that also what these the floodlights are for?
I think so. I mean, look, man, I'm not a farmer. I don't know, but I think you're right. They probably have floodlights. But again, this is 1936. No, I'm sorry. This is 1957 in rural Brazil. I don't even think they had light bulbs back then there.
Do you ever find yourself hesitant to ever meet a farmer because you feel like they would just bully you for just being like a city boy?
Oh, yeah, easily. See, I can make fun of them all I want about being farmers, but if I am in their territory and they're like, okay, go ahead and fix my tractor, and I need you to plow the fields, and after that, I need you to plow my daughter, I'm like, look, man, I only know how to do 2 or 3 of those things, and then they're going to bully me relentless.
Yeah, and as far as cowboys come, that's actually a pretty generous to-do list.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like such a slacker. Like, I don't know, dude. I feel like I think they would just kill me, honestly.
They'll hide you in the haystacks, dude.
Yep. And then
they'll feed you to the pigs.
Yep. Feed the pigs or use me as a fertilizer.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the circle of life, dude. That's
Beautiful.
the circle of life. So it's nice.
And this is why I'm going to draw anime porn instead.
Good for you. That's disgusting.
I have a service to offer the world, and I'll be damned if I don't offer it.
Degenerates.
Hey.
You're a degenerate for making it, and they're degenerates for buying it.
And like you said, the circle continues.
While he was out plowing the field, singing what I can only imagine to be like Brazilian slave songs.
Okay.
When his tractor suddenly shut off and would not restart. And at the same time, he spotted in the sky what he described to be a, quote, red star, unquote. Now, this red star got closer and closer to him as he stood there in the field dumbfounded. He was like, duh, what's that up there? Oh.
which you got from the recovered audio footage of this incident, right?
Yeah, it was in his regressions.
Yeah, it was in 1940. He had an iPhone on him, though. It was pretty impressive.
Now, at one point, it got close enough for Antonio to make out what it was. And it turned out to be an egg-shaped spacecraft, which had a large red light in front of it. And that's probably what he saw as it was getting closer. And it also had a dome-like structure on the top. And when I say egg-shaped, I don't mean like a lady egg. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even sure what those are shaped as.
I don't think anybody was thinking that at all.
I have to cover my bases.
Which was actually interesting. I was just watching an informative CG GIF about how actually sperm in the woman's ovary reacts to them as if it were like a allergic threat, and that's why most of the sperm get killed because it's considered like a foreign entity.
Oh, dude, that's how I react to sperm too. So
just obliteration.
Yeah, yeah, I was in my stomach. All right.
See, sorry. See, this is the problem when we record late. Like, my mind's been awake for too long. I just have all these random facts. I'm just gonna spew out, like splooge.
Hey, as long as it is relevant, I don't give a shit.
That last one, I might have been grasping at straws, but you know what? Now you all just know a little bit more, and I think fallopian eggs might look just kind of regular eggish. Now I'm curious. Now you got me curious.
Wait. What's a fallopian?
The fallopian tubes, like in the female reproductive system.
I don't. That sounds like fanfic.
Let's move on. This is stupid.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm confused now. But we'll move on.
Ugh.
So the mysterious craft began its descent into the field, and as it did, 3 prong-like legs appeared from the bottom of the craft as some kind of landing mechanism. Sounds dope.
Sounds like War of the Worlds.
Exactly. Wait, what? Anyway.
Yeah. No, weren't they big old egg shapes with like the tripods? I mean, I'm just citing. I didn't even see the movie or read the book. I'm just citing what I saw from like trailers and stuff.
Are you saying that this Brazilian farmer is lying?
Well, probably.
Wow. Okay. All right. We're moving on for sure then.
Alrighty.
It was at this point that Antonio thought it would be a good idea to get the hell away from whatever was happening here, right? That's a good idea.
Smart.
He probably should have done it as it was getting closer before it landed. Like, you know what I mean?
Most would, but also you're farming in the middle of the night, man. That'll kind of put you out of sorts, I imagine.
Yeah, he's probably drunk too.
Dude, why wouldn't you be?
If I was a farmer at night, I'd be drunk.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like cowboys were known for drinking like whiskey like every other hour, and cowboys were essentially farmers, right?
Yeah, Brazilians just drink goat's blood and tequila. So Antonio jumped back in his tractor, but it still wouldn't start. Remember, as soon as this craft appeared and was close enough, his tractor shut down, which is something that we see commonly in abduction or UFO sighting scenarios.
Oh yeah, like technology not working and stuff.
Yes.
So basically, just got EMP'd.
He got EMP'd, yeah. Now, it didn't work, so he hopped out and began booking it on foot. But then, a 5-foot-tall being grabbed Antonio out of nowhere as he was attempting to escape. And as Antonio was trying to fight off this being, 3 more of them came and seized him, beginning to drag him toward the egg-shaped craft.
You know, I'm pretty sure with the free trials of Pornhub Premium, which is now available in No Nut November, I think you could watch something like a video about this.
Oh, easily. Yeah, you could find it. You could find it all over the place, man.
Sounds about right. You know, just a Brazilian farmer kidnapped by 3 5-foot aliens to do who knows what.
Just getting dragged off somewhere. To an egg-shaped craft, dude.
I mean, if it hasn't been made yet, I mean, maybe that could be our first multimedia venture.
Hell yeah, dude. My first directorial debut will be a fucking alien abduction porn.
Close Encounter Studio presents.
Oh no, I hope they don't get me.
I'm Antonio. My tractor is not working.
I can fix your tractor for you if you come onto my ship.
Oh no. Oh, they came out of nowhere. I don't have a choice.
Those clothes look really heavy. Let's take those off.
All his like tequila and shit like falls out of his like pockets. Not bad. It was a good workshop.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, and if you're listening now, okay, we got a horny meter this out. Like where are you guys at on a scale of 1 to 10?
No, Tasker, remember the goal is to not get them horny. I don't want them fapping to the podcast.
This is turning into a preventative measures to just a straight gauntlet challenge.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's extra good because get it? Gauntlet, like, you know, fapping. Okay.
Oh, I get it. You fucking God.
I am sorry to all of our listeners.
God, your horniness levels are off the charts.
It's a dangerous time, man. It's dangerous month to be a man.
It is. Now, here is a brief initial description of what these beings looked like, according to Antonio. They were 5 feet tall, and they were wearing silver coveralls, aka jumpsuits, right?
Okay.
They had strange-looking helmets on their heads, at least when they were standing on Earth's ground.
Okay.
They had small, little, chinky blue eyes.
That was unnecessary, but you are Japanese, so we'll let it slide.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, I can get away with racial slurs just because I am.
But I'm watching you.
And when attempting to talk or say something, they just sounded like they were making barking or yelping noises.
Okay, not to like jump on the previous racial statement that you made, but could it be that they were just Asian?
Yes, so they were Asian businessmen that came to Brazil to abduct. Well, technically, Asians are, if we're talking Japanese, they're pretty kinky people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they come to abduct a Brazilian farmer as like a fetish thing? And then were they just barking because that's what their language sounds like to the untrained ear?
Well, keep in mind, we're getting this from a farmer who's been working late. This guy is probably going through all kinds of shit, if, implying this actually happened. Who's to say maybe they like crashed there because they're doing some kind of like expedition, and maybe them trying to get help, he just kind of misconstrued it in his, tequila drunken stupor that, they were aliens.
So wait, are you saying that Asians are aliens?
No, I'm saying this guy might have thought they were in this sort of situation.
I mean, possibly, but then you got to ask the question: what are 4 Asian businessmen doing in Brazil, like rural Brazil?
Well,
like,
who's to say they're businessmen? And 2, like, truth is stranger than fiction, man. Like, weirder shit has happened.
Because Asians are only businessmen, right? They are either businessmen or they spend their time eating bats.
I don't think that's the case, and I think that's a huge generalization.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to Asia. You know what I mean?
Well, talk while you can, because if, as it turns out, at the time of this recording, if Trump ended up losing, your days are numbered. You can't be racist anymore.
Hey, look, I'm not racist. I hate Trump just as much as everybody else does. But I say what's on my mind because I'm autistic and I can't hold it back. All right. So when the jokes start flowing and I think about, what's a low hanging fruit for Asian people? Oh, eating bats, and well, that's not a low hanging fruit. That's just a sad reality.
How inspiring of you.
All right, let's move on before I dig myself deeper. We do have a listener in China, so thank you for listening.
Yep, unless you're a government official, in which case that makes 2 national government officials that are monitoring us.
Yeah, and go fuck yourself.
But also just means we're just that much more credible.
So, like I said, these beings made like a barking or yelping noise when trying to communicate with him. So it was like a,
Awesome.
Or like a yelping noise, like a.
That'd be fucking terrifying. Like this horrible like science fiction nightmare happening to you, and they're just like barking at you while it's going on.
Just wait till they have sex with you.
Oh my god! Now, okay, I'm not gonna ask. I just want to see this unfold because I've done all the hard work of not reading the outline, so I could be surprised.
I'm glad that's why you didn't read the outline.
See, man, I have my reasons.
Now, once inside the craft, the 4 beings stripped Antonio of all his clothing and brought him into a room shaped like a half circle.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, the gauntlet begins, guys. Get ready. Hands out of your pockets. Out of your pants. Just get them up, put them above your head, sit on them. No, don't even sit on them. It's just be careful.
Just come on, guys. Like, not during the podcast. Like, you can't wait an hour. You can't wait an hour to fire off some knuckle children.
I've not heard that before. But yes, hang in there. But let's move forward.
The room was sterile looking, which another thing we see a lot in abduction stories, right? It was like a doctor's examination room. Very clean, very pristine, very metallic.
Mm.
And before entering the room, Antonio noticed a strange red writing above the door, which he later memorized and he told investigators about afterwards. Like, he would try and write the mysterious writing down for these investigators.
Okay, and it was like a completely new language, like characters and stuff.
It looked like symbolic, like symbols, like hieroglyphs. So we see a lot of in abduction stories and people with encounters with extraterrestrials. We see a lot of hieroglyphic looking writing styles. Not a lot of what we consider to be writing. You know what I mean? Like, the closest thing I can picture on Earth is the Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Okay, and also we can I think we brought this up before, but it's like, we evolved according to what the Earth was able to provide to us. So other species evolve differently depending on what their planet provides to them. So in their case, it's just basically as if like Egypt ended up being like the big like thing that took over everything and continued to rule forever. Like it's just they're a product of their culture just as much as we're a product of ours, is what I'm trying to say in short.
Exactly. And it's interesting you bring up Egypt in this sense because there is a theory that Egypt itself was given because it was a very advanced civilization for the age that it was in. And there's a lot of speculation that aliens helped them along this path. And it's not a coincidence that, Egyptians used hieroglyphics and that we see a lot of hieroglyphic like writing from people who have encountered extraterrestrials.
Now, that's a really interesting point you bring up. So, and Egypt is the only culture in the world that used what we know as hieroglyphs. Because, I mean, cave paintings don't count. Those are just, rudimentary stuff. But Egyptians are the only ones that use hieroglyphs. Is that true?
They're the only ones that solidified it and used it as like a proper writing style where they had hieroglyphs for everything. And that's all they wrote in. Inca, Aztec, I believe they had some hieroglyphs as well. But those are also past civilizations that are said to have been helped by extraterrestrials. So
interesting. Well, that's unfortunately very interesting. So
yeah, opening up that third eye a little bit.
We'll see about that. But you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
My man. Now, as soon as he was in the room, he was strapped to a metal examination table, like we see a lot in these stories, and covered in a strange lube-like gel substance. And it was his entire body that was covered in this substance.
Ugh, probably all up in his like mouth too and shit. Because they probably weren't very like gentle about throwing it on him.
No, they were just slapping it on him like putting butter on a turkey, dude.
Ugh, poor guy.
A being then took a sample of his blood from his chin. And that's a very strange place to take it from. I've never heard of a blood sample being taken from the chin before.
That's like your jaw. Like there's like no anything really there for you to get from. That's just inefficient.
That's just inefficient. See, it shows you how dumb some of these aliens can be, dude.
Yeah, they can figure out hyperspace travel, but they're still kind of figuring out the whole blood thing. Unless they don't have blood, in which case this would be a new thing.
That's a good point. And the reason they're probably here in the first place is for experimentation. So they have to find out where the blood comes from.
Okay. All right. The logic's there.
And after the blood samples had been taken, the beings led Antonio to another room, and he waited in this room alone for what he estimated to be about 30 minutes.
Sounds about right. Like every doctor's office ever.
Right? Just to hurry up and wait,
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of this wait, a gas was pumped into the room, filling Antonio's lungs, and he became terribly ill.
Oh, boy. All right. There's some implication, but I'll keep it minimal.
What was the implication?
Auschwitz.
It's not funny, but I laughed anyway.
Good job.
And after some gnarly recovery from the poisonous gas, more waiting alone, another being finally entered the room. And this time, it was clearly a female version of the beings who had abducted him.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Keep your hands out of your pants.
Yep, like we said, keep them up. We didn't say put them down.
All right, guys. So Antonio was immediately attracted to her, and she was butt-ass naked when she walked in the room.
My hands are up. I'm doing just as much as you guys are. I need to.
His hands are up in the sky right now. Mine are in my pants.
If you see on the FaceTime, my video feed just starts shaking up and down. That's when you need to go like, hey, stop.
Stop it. Stop it. Bad. Now, this voluptuous being, right, had large blue feline eyes. Very seductive. And you know what's interesting I want to point out real quick is he said that the other beings had small blue eyes, but she has large ones, because they're probably meant to be I'm not saying that small eyes are not attractive, all right? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying big eyes, especially for you anime fans out there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're into that.
Well, there's actually an evolutionary reason for that, is because when we're babies, all of our features are a little bit exaggerated. Your head's bigger, your eyes are bigger, and this and that. So when we see something with bigger eyes, we sort of make that connection of like it's sort of more infantile, more innocent, more like cute. And we've learned to harness that as a design element. And that's why, more cutesy characters actually tend to have like heads proportionally bigger than its body, eyes that are really big. So it's actually not racist at all to say that.
So you're saying that he wants to fuck a kid?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there is it's more of a it's not so much of an attraction thing. It's more of a disarming thing. It's more of a like, it's nicer to look at, just as like looking at a kitten is a little bit more relaxing than looking at just like a normal cat because they're cute. It's a cute factor. It's not a sexuality thing.
Yeah, looking at a kitten, nothing makes me harder anyway. So
wow, wonderful.
All right, so moving on for the description of this alien that came in to seduce him, right? So long platinum blonde hair.
Oh yeah.
Sharp, concise facial features.
I could feel the money leaving my account for Pornhub Premium right now.
Ooh. And last but not least, she had bright red armpit hair and pubes.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Wow, what a curveball.
That's a curveball, all right. But it's interesting. It's nice to know that we're not the only species out there with pubes.
This is true, but like, what a mismatch. Like, I don't know. Is that like plastic? No, not that wouldn't be plastic surgery, but it's like platinum blonde hair and bright, like, are we talking like highlighter red?
Like fire red.
I'm trying to piece it together right now.
So you got like a humanoid looking alien, right? Thick, big blue eyes, long blonde hair, but then the first problem is she's got armpit hair, right? So she
right.
She's got armpit hair and pubes just hanging out, but they're red and not blonde.
Yeah, that's like, and I mean, okay, and let's not discuss it too much at length because this is a dangerous topic, but like, that's like, you see like those girls who grow out their armpit hair in like diet colors, and like, it just like, my stuttering tells you my opinion, so that's all we need to hear.
Look, you can, here, I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it, all right? First off, ladies, Woodstock is over, all right? Shave your goddamn armpits, and if you do grow them out, that's fine. But don't dye them other colors and shit like it's like a statement. Nobody wants that statement, dude.
It's pretty weird. And I mean, and it's funny too, actually, you of all people, Nick, are probably one of the few who actually can argue about this because you shave like fucking everything.
Look, if I can do it, you can shave your armpits, all right? I mean, I don't shave my armpits, but I keep them trim. Mm-hmm. That's all I ask of you guys. At least keep it trim. I don't want it to look like the Grudge girl's hair in your armpits. You know what? Okay, let's move on.
Dangerous topic.
Frustrated,
but if you can take anything from it, is you can figure it out that Nick and I don't find that look particularly attractive. There might be some people out there who do, but on this podcast, we as the hosts, we can kind of agree on this one that we find that a little ugh.
Yeah, so come on. Anyway, all right, fucking Janis Joplin. Let's move on.
Oh, we're such Americans. All right, move on.
Now, immediately upon seeing this being, Antonio became rigidly hard. Okay, that's it. He just became very hard.
Insta. Well, and maybe that's the trick, and maybe this is the part we're missing out on, is maybe it's the combination, just like, you know how like with McDonald's, they use red and yellow as primary colors because it makes you like desire it more. It kind of like hits the hunger kind of thing a little bit more. Maybe in some weird way, the platinum blonde highlighter fire red combo with the thickness, maybe that's an untapped combo that we've never experienced before. That's just like walking pheromones.
Yeah, you never know, man. It could easily be the case. Mm-hmm. So he just got super hard really fast, and like probably so fast that it made a noise, right? And they just skipped foreplay and literally started banging on the table.
Wow, cool. So
Yeah, just went right into it.
that's insane. You went there. Weird. Like I said, lot of random facts today. But did you know? I don't think it's dolphins, but there was something under the sea that secretes the female secretes a certain hormone that when it hits the male, they just start like ejaculating like nonstop. Like it's just bam, 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 one after another. Like so, scientists were like, "That's kind of cool. Like, let's see if we can use this." And so they extracted it and they gave it to a monkey. And do you want to know what happened?
Did you start jizzing all over the place?
All over the place, nonstop, and eventually it died of a heart attack. And that's why they're like, okay, we can't. The original intended use we had is pretty much moot point. So
That sounds like a great way to go, though.
I mean, hey, if we're gonna ever argue assisted suicide, I mean, hey, that might be the way to go.
Hurry, hit me with it. I want to jizz to death.
Oh man, I don't even want to know what kind of noises a human would make on that shit.
Kill me.
Hands above your head, everybody.
Hands
I
up.
saw you.
All right?
I saw you. I could hear it from my brainwaves that those hands were going down.
All right, guys, come on. Keep it out of your pants. We still have to get through the story, okay? We haven't even gotten to the good shit.
So
all right.
They started banging.
They started banging, and I want you guys to remember that he is covered in KY jelly right now, okay? So this is an actual real-life slip and slide going on in their pants.
It's like the kind of convenience that only rich people can do, where you just buy a vat of KY, just jump in and jump out. I'm ready for anything.
I'm ready for anything, man. Right, so they're banging, right? They're on the table, and Antonio finishes inside of her, and probably, right, because she's an alien, introduced her to what we call here on Earth a cream pie.
So in the Pornhub, rendition of this, you would find it categorized under cream pie.
Yes. All right.
Okay. All right.
But that wasn't all. So looking back, Antonio believes he was given some kind of aphrodisiac or alien Viagra because immediately after the first nut, which was probably pretty intense, he was ready for round 2.
So, dude, it's the undersea jizz thing, the undersea vial of jizz virus.
The jizz virus, that he has a jizz virus. And so he was ready for round 2 immediately after, and they fucked again.
Wow.
And they just kept going.
Oh, okay. So far this is sounding to be a pretty positive experience for him.
I would say yes. It does get a little worse. There's a moral to the story, all right?
Okay.
But as a side note here, so we left off, they just keep fucking. But as a side note, Antonio would say during their bouts of intercourse, they never kissed. But the female alien did kind of like this nip at his chin like thing like a cat.
Okay, every fucking furry listening to this just nutted.
Yeah, this is disgusting. And you should not be listening to this if you're a furry. You've listened to 45 episodes of me talking shit about you and your culture, and you're listening still?
You've made this like hard campaign to try to make them feel as unwelcome as possible.
And they just keep listening. It's like they're dude, you know what it is? They're masochists.
Yeah, in which case, if they are masochists, then I can understand why they keep coming back. You dish it out pretty hard.
Yeah, because they're a bunch of fucking degenerate autists, dude. Like, think about it like this. The fact that I just said that this alien that was just boned multiple times was like a cat, and if they finish to that is disgusting. That is next level degeneracy that should not be allowed.
Right. Well, I think it might not just be furries too, because I think, there is a big, like, I mean, if you've been on the internet, there's some people who have that like cat girl fetish. So they probably went off too, and they're probably currently shutting off our podcast. They need to clean up.
That's the problem with anime. It leads anime is the gateway to furryism
and murder in some cases, apparently.
Yes, disgusting, guys. Come on, keep it in your pants. Anyway, all right. After their porn quality level intercourse sessions, the female got up to leave. But before she did, she turned to Antonio and smiled, rubbing her stomach and gesturing upward toward the sky.
Okay, I ain't the type of guy that sleeps around, but I imagine if a girl does that to you, it's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. Prepare to be paying money for 18 years.
18 years, more like 30.
So he had impregnated her, and she would raise his hybrid child among the stars, is what she was insinuating.
Oh, okay. Well, custody, sure.
But luckily, he didn't have to pay her anything because I'm sure our mundane paper currency means nothing to them. So,
yep, just scrap paper.
Antonio would say that he got the feeling the female alien was relieved that the sexual encounter was over.
Oh, poor guy.
Okay, let's put it this way. So she did feel like she was, so he thought she was just kind of like doing her job, which she probably was, right? We could tell from the way that she was different to the other beings on the ship that she was probably made for breeding, right?
Right.
To be somewhat attractive to humans. But you have to think about that like this. She was probably not super into it because she's probably had sex with a bunch of dudes from all over the earth. And you're telling me Antonio from Brazil did it the best? Probably not.
I mean, dude, Brazilian farmer, muscles all hardened up and tight from all that labor and back-breaking extensive exercise. Like, I don't know, man. He could have been a stud.
He could have been, but I have a feeling he wasn't. I have a feeling that was his first sexual encounter, and he had no idea what to do.
And also, too, I imagine that must be hard just in general because it's interspecies. So it's like, I mean, that'd be weird to me. Like, I don't think I'd be comfortable with that. But if you have a job to do, I guess you gotta
do your job.
Damn. Well, I guess it's kind of like it's like an interstellar porn industry.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm not against it. Do your thing.
Oh dear.
So Antonio said he was pissed about the whole thing because he felt like he was being used as, quote, a good stallion, unquote, just for breeding purposes.
This is quite the situation.
I mean, I feel for him. Nobody likes feeling like a piece of meat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel for him.
I realized that, like, probably, like you said, was probably one of the hardest nuts of his life. Ended up being business.
Just business, no pleasure.
Damn. And also, too, maybe just like in the same vein of like the whole thing of like the nut virus that makes you like, shoot over and over and over again. Usually after the first like one or two, I imagine that shit's just not really fun anymore.
No, because you're firing blanks. There's nothing happening, and it's just your wiener's just convulsing. It's just contracting over and over with nothing coming out. That sounds awful.
So it's like the situation of like when she nut and she's still sucking, but like on like a much like higher tier.
Continuous, repeat until you die.
Fuck, man, that actually that sounds terrible.
But I did want to say something about the entire situation. Leave it to some dumb farmer to fuck a hot alien multiple times and bitch about it using a livestock analogy. That is just straight up ungrateful.
I actually kind of agree. I think he doesn't really realize how good he's got it.
He didn't have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. No,
he didn't have to use a condom, which will come back to bite him in a second. You'll find out.
Right. No child support, no nothing. It was pure business. Some people would kill for that kind of opportunity.
But this dude, he's like, what do Brazilians sound like? I don't know. I'm just going to pretend like he's a farmer, okay? I just got to get back to my corn. But this alien, she just keeps on fucking me thinking I'm some kind of stallion, right? Ridiculous.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love how it is actual quote of him feeling like he's a good stallion.
Yeah, that's what he said, man. And I was like, yeah, sure, stallion, okay.
kind of juicing himself up a little bit there, huh?
And now, after the female left the room, Antonio was cleaned up and given back his clothing.
What's he complaining about? They're taking such good care of him.
He's just bitching, man, because the crops ain't gonna plow themselves, man.
This is why, like we said before, why we'd probably have a really hard time getting along with farmers.
You're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, which, for all we know, they might be a big viewer base because we talk about aliens, but who knows?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you an asshole. My bad.
So if you were here, it's been fun, and hopefully we'll catch you probably never. But hey, it was nice.
And after putting his clothing back on, he was taken on a tour of the rest of the ship. How
They're
nice.
giving him the fucking presidential treatment.
But he still complains.
He's still complaining. This fucking guy. Okay.
And during this tour, Antonio saw a strange clock-like device, which he tried to steal as proof of what happened, but one of the beings caught him and basically told him to fuck right off.
Okay, so not only is he being super, like, ungracious, he's like, stealing shit. Like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
It's bad. Yeah, he's kind of, he didn't handle this the best way he could have.
I mean, I guess you'd be scared, but also, like, with that double nut, you think that would kind of mellow you out a little bit.
You would hope so, but apparently he just wanted to get off there and finish plowing or whatever.
All right.
So he was promptly escorted off the ship after trying to steal that device, and he stood there in a post-alien sex haze, watching the ship take off and disappear into the early morning sky. And when Antonio arrived back at his house, he checked the time and saw that a total of about 4 hours had passed by since he last checked the time.
Oh, man, that opens up a whole level of debate of, like, okay. Oh, no, because a lot of it was just waiting, right? We already established that.
Yeah, there was a lot of hurry up and wait.
Oh, okay, so there's not really a lot of ways he could twist the story to be like, yeah, man, it lasted 3 hours.
Yeah, you guys should have seen me, man. This alien bitch comes inside, right? Oh, my God. Right? She's got pretty blonde hair. But my God, her pubes were so red, I just had to eat them out, right? So she came over and sat on top of me, right? We started doing it. Next thing I know, 3 hours passed by, and I nutted about 15 times. They're like, yeah, so how long did you say you waited in those rooms again?
I hope they called him out on it, because this man deserves the karma from being what seems to be just like a really nice free evening.
He's being a little piss boy. That's what he's being right now.
I agree.
And so that's it for the actual abduction story. But we can talk a little bit about what happened afterward and what the hell this abduction was all about. So, following the hot and steamy events of the abduction, Antonio began having some medical issues.
Oh boy.
Yes, there is a moral at the end of the story, like I said before. Some of these issues included nausea, general fatigue and weakness, intense headaches, and mysterious lesions on the skin that would show up without cause.
Oh, fuck. I think I know what that is.
And if we're being honest, I'm pretty sure that he got some kind of extraterrestrial STD.
Yep. Oh, man. Nothing. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not real.
Exactly. And this is something that we will see in the future when we cover Betty and Barney Hill. Barney also got some kind of extraterrestrial STD. So remember, even if you're having free sex with an alien, people, wrap it up. Saran wrap. I don't know. Find something.
And for all you know, like we were saying before, she might have been banging like a lot more people. So maybe she caught a human STD and then it mutated with hers. And then that's why it turned into what it is.
That's an interesting thought, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's probably what happened.
Ugh.
After he started feeling ill, he contacted a journalist to tell him his story, mainly trying to find others who had gone through the same thing to see if there was some kind of cure, right?
Okay.
And this journalist's name was Jose Martins.
Nice. I like the flourish.
Thank you. Now, Jose here got in contact with a doctor named Olava Fontes at the National School of Medicine of Brazil, so I assume he specialized in rain dances.
Yeah, that's not how that works, but nice try.
Anyway, Dr. Fontes conducted an examination of Antonio and concluded he had high amounts of radiation, aka space AIDS, and that was the cause of his sickness.
If it wasn't like bad marketing, I would say we should just call this episode Space AIDS.
We could. I don't give a fuck.
What's his name? Antonio
Villas Boas.
Antonio. Okay, I gotta look at that. Antonio Villas Boas and the plight of the Space AIDS.
Yes, this has got a nice ring to it.
It does. Oh my god! Or we'll just save that for the Pornhub rendition.
And Dr. Fontes described the many symptoms which Antonio was experiencing as, quote, pains throughout the body, nausea, headaches, loss of appetite, ceaselessly burning sensations in the eyes, cutaneous lesions at the slightest of light bruising, which went on appearing for months looking like small reddish nodules, harder than the skin around them, and protuberant, painful when touched, each with a small central orifice yielding a yellowish, thin, waterish discharge.
Yeah, that sounds like space AIDS.
That sounds like space herpes. That's fucking disgusting.
So there you go. If you guys nutted, I hope you're happy now. This is your reward.
And here's the kicker. The skin surrounding the wounds presented a hyperchromatic violet tinged area. So it's like a purple circular area with like pussy, disgusting lesions on the inside.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Fuck. That's okay. Not as good of a night as I was saying previously.
That's the moral, boys and girls. Always wrap it up. All right, because you never know.
Gotta be safe.
Now, Antonio's story did get published in the UFO periodical called SBESDV, and that's literally what it was called in 1962, but nothing else really came of it, whether for better or worse. And after the events of that night, Antonio moved on from the simple farming life and became a lawyer, like I said earlier in the episode. And he found a wife. He had 4 kids with her, so now he has 5 kids. Hey-o!
Hey, alien baby, still out there somewhere.
Still out there somewhere. And alas, Antonio died in January of 1991. And thus ends the tale of one of the oldest and sexiest recorded extraterrestrial abductions out there.
Okay, so throughout this, I developed a take of, because previously my hypothesis was, maybe there was just some Japanese aircraftsman that got maybe off track and they ended up in Brazil. I'm nixing that because I think I know what actually happened.
What happened?
I think he had one of the best and worst experiences with a hooker. And that shit went so wacky that he had to dress it up like a story because he didn't want to look like some schmuck. It's like he wanted to tell the story, but he didn't want to have to admit that he had to buy pay for sex to get it. So I think he twisted it into an alien story, saw some dollar signs, so reached out to other the tabloids and stuff like that. And because think about it, dude, you had sex with a hooker who is just looked like a cat, had crazy dyed pubes, but somehow made you nut harder than you've ever nutted in your entire life. You want to tell that story, but you also don't want to look like a fool who pays for sex. So you just dress it up, make this whole story. And I mean, he became a lawyer. Obviously, he was good enough at lying to be able to pull this off. I think he made it up. I think it's a crazy experience, and he got also some fucking horrible STD from her. And so that's another reason why he would want to cover it up. That's another reason why he would say, oh, no, it wasn't a hoe. I didn't pay for sex. It was aliens.
First off, I will rebut your argument by saying that there are no hookers in Brazil. That is a respectable, clean nation, okay?
All right.
And second of all, I will say that you had your third eye open at certain times during this episode, but you literally just shut it like you're going to bed. You just shut your third eye and you refuse to see the truth just because it sounds first off, it's too easy. That's too easy of an explanation as to what's going on here, right? And second, you telling me that you don't believe he was abducted by aliens, got to have sex with one multiple times, and then suffered from an STD because of it.
Well, just like we said if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. That seems like a little too, things went a little too well for him. Or maybe he got an STD and didn't know where it came from. And he just kind of just made some shit up because he thought people would get the wrong impression of him. And I mean, we're talking about him now, so obviously it worked.
It worked, yes, if that's what happened. But I still firmly believe that he was abducted because this is happening all over the world, and it has been happening all over the world. People are claiming that to be abducted by aliens constantly and to be forced to have sexual relations with them, and there are there are thousands of human hybrids out there from these encounters. There's an episode coming about alien human hybrids, and it's happening all over the world. I have to believe Antonio because it's happening to so many other people. This is a pandemic.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure actually, especially in the pandemic, some people who do not have a significant other, like, 'cause I imagine trying to get the date game on during this time must be incredibly difficult. But like, so yeah, okay, you're stuck in your house, you're by yourself, or you live with your parents, and you're just like, damn, like, I'm the only one who's touched my wiener in the past couple years, or maybe vice versa. Well, no, I guess that really wouldn't. Would it work vice versa of like aliens kidnapping women to try to make them pregnant?
Oh, there's stories about that. Yeah, there's men and women being taken. So sometimes the men, they'll be taken and they'll have like full on physical encounters like this story where they literally impregnate on the spot, or they'll force the jizz out of them and keep it in like tubes and stuff for later use. Or there's females that are either being in physical encounters where they're impregnated on the spot. Mm-hmm. And then their babies are taken from them, or their eggs are extracted from them and to use for later. So there's like a bunch of varieties of these different. Basically, what's happening is with these extraterrestrials that do these types of things, it's not for pleasure. Like remember when we were talking about how like that extraterrestrial lady, she seemed like she wasn't into it. Afterwards, and she was kind of just doing her job. It's right. Because she was. Their species are dying out. They're either dying out or they've ceased to continue to evolve, and they're using humans as a hybrid gene to further their species' existence.
You could say that, but you could also just say some weird hookers out there, man, that might look a little twisted. They're meth addicted, kind of little malformed, maybe a little strain, something that might be, a little unsavory. People do unsavory things. And I know before you said that the explanation seemed a little too convenient, but I think it's also a little too convenient the other way around.
You always say that. You always think that it's too convenient because you're afraid. You know what you're afraid of, Tasker? You're afraid of going to bed and waking up having sex with an alien against your will to impregnate them. That's what you're afraid of. So if you think that if you don't believe it, it won't happen.
Well, here's the thing: is that sounds like, in case of getting abducted, that sounds more like arguably a better case scenario, because sometimes they fucking dissect you alive. That sounds a lot worse. And I mean, yeah, space AIDS is a pretty shitty like trade-off, but it's better than just being dead. I mean, the man got to live the rest of his life and had like a wife and kids. Like, I don't know. I feel like if it was truly an alien STD, I think it would be a lot worse.
All right. Look. I will admit something. I will admit that, yes, this one's harder to believe. Maybe he did have sex with a hooker and he was trying to cover it up. But I have a duty, an ignorant duty, to believe what I'm told without hesitation, because I am one of few who will do that and keep awareness of the subject. Okay. So I believe that he was abducted by aliens to help further their species by having sex with him.
Well, let me riddle you this. When we get to this episode in the future about alien human hybrids and stuff like that, if there is more, I think your points would be more valid on this particular episode if we could go into more proof on this happening frequently. Because you said before that this happens all the time. If that's the case, well, then this might just be one of the many. But I'm not convinced. I think this is a very like unique situation, and I think this is a very like it's too easy to cover it up, and that's why I would need more data. But for now, I'm saying freak hooker STD accident.
And for now, I'm saying he had a groovy time until he had space AIDS. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I may not believe this, but there's a chance, though, that some of our listeners out there may choose to believe it because they want to fap to it later. And because the chance of that happening. So I might have just lost some people right out the gate from that because I'm trying to rip away that sexual fantasy.
And how dare you? How dare you do that? Unless they're a furry, you should never take away people's sexual fantasies. So, Tasker, I'm going to have to say that this is true just for that purpose. Look, the episode's almost over. You guys can start fapping or whatever. I don't give a shit. All right?
Yep, by weird, thick alien cat girl with highlighter pubes.
Right on. See, there you go, guys.
Oh my God. I don't know why that just reminds me of, did you ever watch the Scooby-Doo movie with the aliens? And it's like the one like hippie girl and like their dog and like Shaggy has a huge crush on her and they end up being aliens.
Yeah.
That's kind of, in a weird way, kind of what I picture sort of with the alien. Of course, without all the, because obviously she didn't have like hair or anything like that. But I imagine that's kind of the body type, right?
I think so. I picture Smurfette for some reason.
You could pinpoint the moment when it clicked in my head.
All right, guys. Well, look, that was it for the episode on Antonio Villas Boas and the abduction that he went through, the sexual abduction. All right. We hope you had fun. This was a fun one. A little bit of an update for you guys about Count Chocula. As you can tell, I survived Halloween. Yes. Count Chocula will soon be off of the shelves yet again. And away from my face. Has Tasker, has anything weird happened to you in the last, I don't know, week or so?
I'm just trying to remember. I ate a lot of refined sugar. That didn't feel good. Nothing of note. Like I said, I've been like researching some like spooky stuff, but like that doesn't really like. Nah, I can't say. I don't know why. I feel like I'm kind of out of the crosshairs for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm so much of a non-believer. They don't see me as a threat.
And that could be the case. So maybe you being a skeptic is actually helping you out a little bit right now. Unfortunately for me, it's not a good sign. Count Chocula he's always breathing down my neck. I can feel it. Just because the boxes are off the shelves doesn't mean that I'm out of the sites. I will continue to do research. I found out that Count Chocula actually back in the early 40s was one of the higher ranking SS officers at Dachau.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to really be careful because that's like no joke. That's like fighting at a Red Skull.
Yeah. I also did hear that he was involved in the modernization of the modern butt plug.
And that's also a problem, especially if it's the little jewel ones. It's not cute. All right.
I always thought that was so weird. The butt plugs have the little jewel at the end. That's just, there's no way you can dress up the human butthole to look any better.
Yeah, because it's already perfect. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a short and sweet one, but you know what? Halloween, as you know, it's a very busy time for the two of us. So it's good to kind of ease into something, get back into aliens, do something fun, celebrate No Fap November with a very sexually charged episode. Because you know what? If you fucked it up right now, well, you do got the rest of the month, unless you're one of the most people in the world that say, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. This episode was hot. It's over.
And for all my fellow artists out there, if you have a good rendition drawing of what you think this alien looked like, I say this with caution, but you can send it to us on our Discord /discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. Also, too, while I'm at it, if you're listening to us on iTunes, if you could rate and review 5-star, send us some kind words, that would be really cool. Help boost us up a little bit. Spotify, you could shoot us a follow. We have new episodes every Wednesday. That's not changing anytime soon. Instagram is @CEOTPK. YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Twitter is @CEOTPK1. Facebook, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. And that's also where you can go. If you want to find all these links right there, you could just easily click. Discord, I already told you. Go to Facebook if you want that link again. If you feel the need to donate to us, we have coffee, ko.fi.com/CEOTPK. Completely optional. Just do it if you want to.
Yes. And look, guys, we hope you had a fun Halloween. November is always the worst month because it's like a Halloween hangover month. So we'll trudge through it. Let's get to the holidays. And look, whether you had sex with a hooker and got herpes, or if you had sex with some voluptuous alien and got space herpes, the truth is out there.
Completely unrelated to what Nick said, because I'm tired of thinking, but by the time you listen to this, tomorrow will be my birthday. You should send me something. It's not.
Yeah, happy early birthday. Bye. I'll redo that because I'm a professional and I can copy word for word what I said, even though I ad-libbed.
Wow.
And when he took this sample, no, okay, I'm not a professional. I fucking